Yeah, between two burns. Between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chillin' while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns. Between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars in the mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat today. Between Two Burns is
honored,
but I think we're going soft.
We're
going sensual.
Relaxed.
We're filling the room with pipe smoke.
Oh yes.
This is an episode that I'm calling "Laying the Pipe" with Waylon.
Walker, Texas, Waylon.
We're calling it "Laying the Pipe," which if you Google that, you may get a different search result than you're hoping to get.
Yes, that is true.
So today is our first ever episode dedicated strictly to the pipe.
To the pipe.
Okay. Again.
To the pipe.
Well, again,
the last one was kind of
we did. To be fair, in Ethan's defense, we did have a lot of pipe talk in the last episode.
Oh, okay.
It was less the P-lip and more the dong type.
The dong.
Yeah, the kind that wed and tackle, that kind of thing. It was more that pipe.
Meat and two veg.
I'm not sure how much of that pipe you brought with you.
Oh God.
But if we can avoid that would be great. We got the man himself, Mr. Waylon Stephens, in Laudisi.
Yes.
Is that the official, like when you say I work for Laudisi, or is there a different arm that it's called?
It's funny because the proper pronunciation is Laudisi.
Laudisi?
Really? Laudisi, but
okay.
with this accent, it does not work too well, and I have tried it recently, and it does not feel natural. So I like to say Laudisi.
Laudisi. Yeah. That's kind of always how it's Laudisi, right?
That is
it's correct spelling. Yeah.
You should be proud of yourself. You got it on the first try.
Yeah, thank you. So to me, it always looks like Laudisi, but Laudisi is the correct pronunciation.
I don't know the full detail, but I'm pretty sure the name comes from something Shakespeare related.
Really?
Not 100% on that. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah. So
I felt at least 70% confident. Franklin would probably know better.
That's right. So
60% of the time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Every time.
For those unfamiliar, Laudisi, based out of Little River, South Carolina, correct?
Well, technically, Loris, South Carolina, which is a weird
You've just
town.
gotten technically
I know,
twice, and we're not even 5 minutes in.
Technically.
5 minutes in.
So
I
Loris
knew this was a huge
is
mistake.
literally a town that's on the border of South Carolina and North Carolina. On the other side of the border is Tarboro, North Carolina, which, if you believe in your history, that is where Stonewall Jackson was born and raised from the Confederacy. For any of the Civil War nerds out there.
Technically.
Dude, this is a pipe podcast, and we're already talking Civil War.
Civil War.
This thing could go down many different roads here.
Yes.
But, I don't know.
A quaint little town.
I'm from the north, I'm not sure I feel totally comfortable with this conversation right now.
You know what Abraham Lincoln once said? If you're racist, he's going to attack you with the North.
Yes. That's right. That's
true.
right.
True story.
Okay, that all aside, give me your official title with the company.
So my official title, and granted this is me changing it up a bit. So
yeah, church it up. I understand, totally.
So I'm the Southeastern Territory representative for Laudisi or Laudisi Distribution Group.
Yeah.
And I like to do the hat flick.
That's right. Which everybody's going to appreciate.
Yeah.
Laudisi has many facets, let's say. We've talked about this in the past. We talked about it when Franklin was here. One of the more recent additions was Caldwell Cigars.
Yeah.
But probably more known in the pipe world.
Yes.
Okay, so official ownership of Peterson Pipes, correct? Official U.S. distributors of Savinelli Pipes.
Yep.
Own the website, smokingpipes.com, which I think if you're listening to this podcast, you're a pipe smoker, you're familiar with.
I mean, if you want to break it down and get technical, like that side is...
We're getting gracious.
I was like, that side is what I refer to as the cousins.
The cousins, guys.
The cousins, because...
We're talking about like normal
got
cousins
the
or
parent
Alabama
group.
cousins.
Yeah. We're talking Mrs. Kentucky cousins kind of thing?
Kentucky,
like,
sure.
You can bang these
Kissing
cousins or what?
Kissing cousins.
Yeah.
So it's like Laudisi Enterprises
Yep.
is like the parent company, and then it breaks down to Smoking Pipes, and then us at Laudisi Distribution Group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also a store
Yes.
in Little River. That's
Yes.
technically in Little River.
Yeah, so that would fall under the Smoking Pipe side.
The smoking pipe. So that's a traditional retailer, cigars,
Yes.
pipes,
Yes.
and the
Pipes,
whole 9 yards.
You know, they got a beautiful pipe wall.
They do have a nice pipe wall.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they got a great collection of Savinelli, Peterson. They also have some French rop, I think is how you pronounce it. Selection of those pipes there. Then they got some very expensive Dunhills that Franklin recently tried to convince me to purchase.
He's a bad influence.
He really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I could give a 30-minute story of how he has influenced purchases I've made over the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But overall, you're tasked with visiting retailers, selling the product from the business to business perspective, talking about. You're a pipe guy yourself.
Yes.
I would call yourself a pipe guy.
Yeah.
I would call yourself
I
a
said
pipe guy.
I was like, I'm not a super nerdy pipe guy. But
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
pipe guy.
but a pipe smoker. Is this the first time though that you've been in the pipe side? Because you've always been a pipe smoker.
I've always been a pipe smoker.
But is this the first time you kind of really? I mean, you came from a retail background before going into the sales side, so you obviously dealt with that.
Yes.
But from selling it to a business perspective, this is the first time you've been representing pipe brands.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you.
No technical, just
No technical. That is a strictly that's a fucking yes or no question, sir. Okay. But then you're also tasked with the Caldwell cigar piece of it as well. And you guys, fill me in and correct me, but you distribute some other cigar brands still or no?
So everything that was under the Caldwell umbrella is owned by us. So
Which is Lost and Found.
Caldwell, Lost and Found, La Barba, and how do you pronounce it? Lito or something to those lines, which is a subset of the La Barba brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But no other independent brands that you're responsible for distributing?
No.
Because were you guys at one point, maybe before you got there, where they distributed some other cigars?
I mean, as far as I know, under the LDG branch, they have never sold cigars to my knowledge.
Okay. What do you like selling more?
Oh, cool. Well, the thing with me is I just like selling quality products that I can help a business make money with. This
segment brought to you by Laudisi.
Laudisi.
Somewhere around Little River, South Carolina. Couldn't tell you where.
Yeah.
But you parallels, contrast between selling pipes and cigars. The obvious product size, but when it comes to selling them, do you feel that there's a different approach that you need to take with a retailer than you do with the cigars? Do you find one easier than the other? Because when you're talking cigars, obviously you carry Caldwell, which is obviously very specific. If you want Caldwell, you want Caldwell. But there are a lot of people selling cigars on the whole, trying to convince for that. So not nearly as many selling pipes and pipe tobacco. And you represent, I mean, you guys tell me if I'm mistaken, but the two most popular pipe brands, at least in the United States, probably, right?
Yeah.
In Savinelli and Peterson. So you have a product that if you're looking for those, gotta come to you. So do you find it a similar type of sales technique or tactic, or is one the polar opposite of the other?
It really all depends on the situation, per se, of going into a shop and seeing their needs of what they want. I mean, they both come with their challenges, right? But there are two different approaches of going in and selling something like a pipe and the tobaccos that go with it versus a cigar, where trying to think of how to say this. I'm going to pull a Jordan Peterson. Give me a moment to think.
This segment brought to you by Jordan Peterson.
No, I mean, it's like understanding the shop's needs of what they want.
Sure.
Because I don't want to oversell somebody on one or the other. But, if it's somebody that's never, done pipes or tobaccos before, it's trying to get them to start small and grow big and not overcommit to where they're not being like, well, you sold me all this and it's just been sitting there and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There's just certain expectations when it comes to pipes and pipe tobacco versus cigars. You know, at the end of the day, and you guys can agree with me when I say this, you're going to turn cigars left and right no matter what.
Yep.
You know, I was like, you know, you'll move pipe tobacco and you'll move pipes, but it's going to be at a slower rate, and it's about how you maximize that side of your business.
That's right. That's right. And I would, for us, and this is certainly not to disparage anybody, but plenty of cigar reps are walking through the door. There's far fewer pipe, that you're kind of our only pipe representation. We have independent makers and stuff like that who approach us from all over the place. But so when we see you, generally speaking, we need something from you, which is kind of nice, that kind of thing. Or we're coming up on something where you have something to tell us, where sometimes it can get a little arduous with the cigar guys walking through every 30 minutes, especially since you guys travel in packs.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional or not, but
it's a fact. I was going to ask you this question later, but since we're on the topic.
Yeah.
So people come into the shop all the time and they're like, "Oh wow, you guys sell a lot of you have a lot of pipes. You sell a lot of pipes." Like, it seems to me like pipe smoking's on the decline. What would you say to that person? Because I know what I say to that person and how I answer that statement or question, but what would you say to that person?
I would say to that person that you're not paying attention the way you should be.
Yeah.
Because, Grant, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to say it. Previous company I worked for, right? When they were trying to get me not to leave, the big thing that my boss there said was, "Oh, you don't want to go into that side of the industry. It's dying, blah, 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 blah." But from what I noticed, and this is my tail end of retail, is like there is a renaissance with pipe smoking right now, where you're having more and more people pick up a pipe, especially just turning 21. They're coming to a shop and they're buying a pipe because they're thinking about the old papa, grandpa, and wanting to be like getting to smoking tobacco that way. I was like, pipes are not on the decline, and I could show you numbers that would say otherwise.
Yeah, and I agree with you. My answer is always, pipe smoking is not something you see out in public.
No.
Whereas cigar smoking is.
Yeah, that's
and there's more cigar shops where there's not as many pipes in cigar shops or pipe shops. Because in my opinion, pipes are harder to understand the full depth of, because there's not as many resources out there. There's so many different shapes and sizes, so many different manufacturers. The entry point is also more expensive if you get a nice pipe into getting into pipe smoking than it is with cigars, right? Because a cigar, you can get into cigars, you can buy a $5 or $10 cigar and get a pretty good cigar. You want a good pipe, the Rossi line, which 7Ellie makes, is great, but you're still talking 60, 70, 80, $100.
Yeah.
So entry point's a little bit higher, but
but you also say the least expensive way.
It is the least expensive way to smoke premium tobacco,
correct.
in my
Yes.
opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just curious as to what your opinion was on that, because we have people that come in and say that at least once a week, maybe once every other week. And I just think it's because people don't see it. But
I was going to say, I agree with the concept that you don't see it. There's a technique and process that I think turns people off. Especially when you, excuse me, especially when you're talking about cigars, where it's like, cut one end, light the other end. You know what I mean? Now, there's more to it than that, obviously, to do it correctly and properly and get the most out of it. But, in a minute here, we're going to kind of go over the how to handle a pipe and how to do that, because I would call myself an absolute beginner, right? He's got light years more pipe smoking experience than I do. Partly, and I have pipes, I enjoy the artisan aspect of them, but there becomes this, whether true or not, preconceived kind of time constraint and arduous kind of thing to it that I don't then move forward with doing, if that makes sense, right? And the times that I do light up the pipe, I enjoy it. and I do feel like I shut down more when I'm smoking the pipe, like versus a cigar, because you feel like I dropped the cigar down and think, but that's not really any more than you can do with a pipe. It's probably okay. Tell me this, like I'm not, especially if you leave a cigar for a long period of time, relighting a pipe, okay or not okay? And when I mean obviously relighting, but after a period of time.
Yeah. So cigar, like after about, I don't know, for me, 30, 40 minutes is the window you have to relight it.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I've discovered with the pipe, I could like smoke like half a bowl out of this.
Yep.
All right, time to go to bed. Pick it up the next morning, light it up.
Oh, really?
And then the flavor's still the
there. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. All right. So, again, this episode's all about pipes. What we're going to do over this is talk a little, not a little, but a lot about some of the pipes you brought with you, show us some of the different styles, pipe, tobacco, kind of go over these things. But first, because like I told you, I'm a beginner at best. And I think a lot of people who may be watching this or we put this out to are in the same position. I want to do a little pipe 101.
Yeah.
Okay?
A little 101.
Yeah, a little, let's,
We're gonna teach you.
Waylon takes us to school,
You're getting
kind
taken
of
to
thing.
school.
There's
I like it.
no whiteboard or anything like that. But I do want to do a little pipe 101 from how to pack it, how to light it, how to enjoy it over time, cleaning it, keeping it, in good condition and those types of things. 'Cause I think I see some of the stuff that comes into him where he's kind enough to ream pipes for people. And we're talking about people who've been smoking a pipe for 50 years. And you look at something, you're like, damn, like,
Give you PTSD, man.
yeah, he's in the trenches when he's in there. So all I hear is
For
this
hours.
squeaking and grinding and exactly. Yeah. He had black stuff all over his hands the other day. Looked like a chimney sweep. I thought he had a second job, but so I think there's just a lot of people who don't know that stuff, or just at the beginning stages of it, or to your point where you think the pipe world is at. I do find, and this is just a Jason noticing customers through the door. I've been in pipes for 40 years, and I'm just starting pipe. Like, I'm just starting to get into it. So there's an obvious gap and conversion between those two to try to keep that person to be a pipe smoker for the long term.
Yeah.
That we have tons of people who come in and say things like, my grandfather used to smoke this pipe, or my dad had this, or I love the smell of the house, or just younger guys who see the stylistic piece of it, or the perceived whatever to it. But there's clearly a point where it's either given up on or powered through. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of, I guess there's a casualness to cigar smoking that I don't think maybe exists with pipe smoking. I feel like you're either in or you're out. Would you agree with that? Because I guess, we have plenty of people who come in and buy cigars. It's a wedding, it's a bachelor party, it's a golf trip or something like that, where a guy or gal may have never smoked cigars, maybe smoke one or two a year, where they hop on that for that period of time. That doesn't seem to happen in pipes. Would you agree?
Not so much. It's like what it comes down to, I feel like, is the patience level of people.
Correct.
So it's like,
and that's where I personally fall off.
Yeah, as like, you go in. This is the best way I explain it to people, is like you go into it the same way of thinking of a cigar. Of they're both a ritualistic process, right? There's less steps involved with a cigar, but at the end of the day, it is a ritual of enjoying the flavors of the tobacco in a relaxed setting, if possible, and be on that flavor journey. Yep. The thing is with pipes, as like that flavor journey is more extensive.
Yep.
But you got to put in the work to get that benefit of that journey. So, I tell people like they're thinking about getting into it, and I'll ask them like, "Are you a patient person?" If they tell me yes, I was like, "Then you're going to figure this out in no time."
Yeah.
And then if they're not a patient person, I'd tell them like, pipe is going to be the best tool to teach you patience, because if you stick with it and learn it through all the headaches that come along with learning how to do it correctly, you know, you're going to walk away with having that tool of patience in your life to where you can face anything head on.
Yeah.
With that level of confidence.
Well, it's a life lesson, is what you're saying.
Yeah. That's the number one thing that I tell people that smoke cigars that want to get into a pipe. What's the difference? It's a practice in patience.
Yeah.
It's literally the number one thing.
Would you consider yourself a patient person?
I'm more patient than I used to be.
And the pipe probably helped that.
No, not at all. It's my daughter. But yeah, we'll say the pipe.
The pipe has helped you be more patient. Interesting. Interesting. You never know. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start. Ethan's already got his pipe lit because he likes skipping ahead and not paying attention to what I asked for.
I didn't know we were doing this.
Yep. Have you lit your pipe yet? You either packed? All right, so you're going to do this with me.
What are you going to smoke? What? I feel like we've skipped our what are we smoking step here.
Yeah.
Well,
what are you going to smoke? Are you going to let Waylon pick it out for you?
No, I'm going to smoke. Well, all right, so I will. I had planned on smoking Autumn Evening.
Okay.
Which I know to be very popular since we brought it in. It's
number one seller for y'all, right?
It's a Laudisi product.
It's our number one seller as far as pipe tobacco goes.
It is. Okay. Aromatic. Correct. Give me a breakdown.
I mean, breakdown.
It doesn't have to be so specific, but this is, would you consider this beginner friendly?
I mean, in my opinion, most aromatics are going to be beginner friendly, as long as they didn't decide to be crazy and put some type of tobacco in there that's not too strong. So like Autumn Evening and the Nutty Irishman up there are going to be beginner friendly in my opinion.
Okay, so I'm going to do the Autumn Evening. What did you end up smoking in yours?
I'm smoking small batch Carolina Red Flake with Perique.
Perique, I love that.
It's the first time I've smoked it. This is the first pipe I've smoked since whenever Ellipsis came out. Because Franklin gave me a little bit of that, and I tried it. This is fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Like,
it's good. The craziest thing with that blend, and I don't know if everybody gets this, but when you open it up and there's like the tin note of how it smells in the tin, I swear it smells like Bush's baked beans.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right, so here, let's do this.
Let's do it.
I've got my Peterson Pipe and Pint 25th anniversary pipe.
Ah.
You guys made this for us. This was pre you joining Laudisi.
Yes.
Okay, so we did a run of this. We did 100 of them. Ethan, is that right? Or
Yeah, and then only like 94 of them made it through QC or something.
Yeah. Yep. Nice job, Peterson.
Yeah.
But they're individually numbered. Got our logo on it. Give me, for the average person, and we're going to show this. Give me the elementary beginner rundown of what this pipe is.
Hey,
this is a rusticated pipe.
You know what Peterson number that is? What Peterson pipe number? That's a 69.
69. I was about to say it's definitely in the 60
it really
family.
Is, like, legitimately.
I thought yours was.
No, I got number 69 of the 69s, but the shape is a Peterson 69.
Got you.
You would make sure you got 69.
Yeah, he did. He specifically pulled it out. I've got number 50.
Yep.
Larry has number 1.
Yep.
And I don't know who has number 100. Do you?
I don't think number 100 made it through QC because I don't ever remember seeing it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. But so this is referred to as the number 69 model.
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be a 69 model. That would be in the bent billiard family.
Okay.
Or a billiard family, but a bent billiard. And then when you're breaking down, like, now granted, when you talk about a pipe, you could break it down to every little thing. But
sure.
I feel like it's easier just breaking it down as you got the bowl, the outside's going to be the bowl, inner point's going to be the chamber. This area right here is going to be the shank. Then you got the stem. And then that's going to be the lip. And then, like, the hole would be considered the bore.
Okay.
But there's more ways of breaking it down. But I feel like if you break down the 8 different parts of a pipe and what they're called, it can be overwhelming for people.
Sure. And this finish is considered rusticated, correct?
Yes, that is rusticated.
Yeah, versus the other finish you're talking about is something smooth. Like you've got right there.
A sandblast.
Okay.
Which, don't know how well that's picking up on camera.
Yeah,
but
that's all right.
But, yeah. And then you got your different types of bits where yours right there, that's what you'd call a fishtail. And then what I have is going to be a P-lip. And I'm very big on the P-lip. And I actually recommend...
This stem is considered a fishtail is what you're saying?
A fishtail. So, kind of like looks like a fishtail, basically.
Yeah,
Is how
sure.
you look at it. I mean, that's the more standard like bit style nowadays. Because like way back when, like we could find an image of it and throw it up later.
Yeah.
But the standard, which they call a standard, would be like it'd be round on the end with the bore sticking out. So to me, it's like I don't know how people smoke pipes like that because it looks very uncomfortable. But with the P-lip, I actually recommend the P-lip for a beginner because one thing you run into smoking a pipe and you're puffing like it's a cigar, you get that tongue bite and it burns your tongue.
Yeah.
Where with the P-lip, blows the smoke up to the roof of your mouth, so it helps reduce that tongue bite you're gonna get.
Okay.
And for those that don't know, tongue bite is literally the smoke getting too hot and
Yes.
burning your tongue. And
Yes.
if you're listening to this and you're a normal cigar listener and you're thinking about getting into pipes, the P-lip is great because your tendency when you're going to start smoking a pipe is to chief on it like you do a cigar, and that is how you get tongue
Yes.
bite. It literally that is why it's a practice in patience. You have to slow down while you're smoking it. That was the biggest curve for me when I was getting into it. Is I always smoked it too hot and too
'Cause,
fast.
I mean, you want to be there on the journey, right?
Yep.
It's like, thinking of cigar as like taking like a 1-hour trip where like smoking a pipe, if you want to think about it from a driving perspective, you're doing like a cross country kind of journey. You want to take your time, enjoy the scenery, right? We're
not the destination,
It's
it's
not,
the
we're
journey.
not in a rush to get to the end.
Gotcha. So this is your tin of Autumn Evening, which you guys sell in tins, but as bulk. As
Yeah,
well,
we do it in
which is
bulk
how
as
we sell
well.
it.
So it comes
And-
in 2-ounce tins, 8-ounce tins, and then a 1-pound bulk bag.
So aromatic, you immediately get kind of, the fact that it's called Autumn Evening suggests to me kind of what it spells. It kind of has a fall vibe to it. It's mapley, kind of that sugary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's breakfast in a
Predominantly
can right there, brother. Breakfast in a can.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
that would be it. All right, so what we're going to do is, first of all, you're going to help walk me through packing this thing and
Yes.
getting this thing lit properly.
Yes.
So, all right, let's do the steps.
So there's many different steps you can take, right?
Give me the easiest one.
So I feel like, for our current setting, instead of loading it out of the can, actually, let me take that out of my mouth so people can understand my fucking accent. Oh, is it okay if I curse?
This is a cursing podcast.
Fuck yeah. So we're just going to dump out what's left in the can.
Okay.
Is that a nifty little like
Well,
pipe
Snap.
tobacco?
It's like a little pipe tobacco tray, snaps together.
That's nifty.
Got
I
it
like
from
that.
my boy Nick at Smoking Joe's in Maryville, Tennessee. You're welcome for the shout out. You're welcome too, Cody, the owner. If they watch this, who knows?
Waylon's trying to
They
take
better
over the
watch
podcast.
it.
So you
Waylon's
so,
trying to get a separate show of his
yeah.
own.
So
on the network.
and we could do shots of it to explain the different types of cuts, right?
Yeah.
So this is your ribbon cut. So to me, most of the time you don't got to do what I'm about to do, but it's nice to do it.
For those that don't
nonetheless.
know, Waylon is about to rub one out.
I'm gonna rub one out.
Rubbing one
So
out.
I'm gonna put it in my hands, and we're just gonna get a little aeration. Get it going. But when you get to the process of like taking a flake, I might switch up what I'm smoking just to better show
Sure.
and describe. But then from there, what I want you to do, and we're gonna get this in front of you, so we're making less of a mess because.
All right.
One drawback on smoking a pipe is you can make a mess with
Yeah,
a lot
sure.
of tobacco, and we're
Yep.
probably going to get tobacco on this carpet. And unfortunately,
Patrick will clean it up.
yes, thank you. Patrick will have to clean it up. So you're going to take a pinch, and you're going to feed it in using gravity. So you're
Okay.
just
When you say a pinch, we're talking like 2 fingers in your thumb, that kind of thing? Okay.
It's like
like
you're putting
that.
a dip in.
Oh, okay.
so,
big
yeah.
old chow.
So I would rest the pipe over,
Yep.
and then you're just going to feed it in. Let me get a little closer. Now, take your finger, and you're gonna push it in gently. I call this a baby push.
Okay.
Baby push. Now, test the draw. Make sure you can get air out of it.
Yep.
Good. Now you're gonna take another pinch. Same process.
Okay.
He's feeding it in using gravity. This is the gravity method. Easiest way to pack a pipe.
Okay.
Same thing. This time you're gonna push a little bit harder. This is gonna be the lady push.
Yeah, baby. It's just full of innuendos.
Okay.
All right, chest set draw.
Yep.
Still good. All right, now this should be your last pinch, but if you gotta add a little bit more, that's okay.
Okay.
Same thing again. You're feeding it in, using the gravity that the Lord, the universe gave us. Blah 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 blah, and then you're gonna put.
And when you're feeding it in,
Yeah.
should you be looking to feed it right to the top of the bowl each time? Is
Yeah.
that what your goal
Yeah,
is?
yeah. So you're trying to get all the tobacco in there.
All right.
And now you're gonna push it down now, harder than last time. This is gonna be a man push, but don't be like,
Yeah. Okay.
And then and you can add a little bit more if you want.
All right.
It's like if you want a full journey,
Yeah, we're gonna take the full journey, man.
for a little journey, pack it up to the top.
We're gonna let it rise.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And test that draw one last time.
Good.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
So now I'm gonna show some other ways how to pack a pipe before you light that.
Okay.
So we're gonna put all that back in there. All right. Now I'm trying to think of what I want to smoke. Maybe I'll smoke 10 bucks.
Well, while you're doing that, you never kind of showed your pipe. Tell me, what do you got?
So this is the Pipe and Pint 16th anniversary
Right.
pipe. A guy named Trevor Talbert made this for us. This is his Linear Britannia line. There were only 16 of these pipes made for the 16th anniversary. I think there were, well, I take that back. There were either 32 or 16 pipes made. There were either 16 smooth and 16 rusticated, or there were 8 rusticated and 8 smooth. I can't remember which. But
got you.
this one is number 16, actually, I think. Nope, I'm sorry, it's number 14.
Number 14.
This is my favorite pipe. I like a smaller straight pipe.
Yeah, I knew that.
And then I've got another one with me that I don't have over here that's another pipe that Trevor made. It's a Linear Britannia as well. These are my two favorite pipes that I have, but it's because of the sentimental value, right? And that's the one thing about pipes that are different from cigars is, I think I've told you before, I've got like 20 different pipes.
Yep.
The vast majority of them came from my great-grandfather. Pipes that he got in Germany when he was in the war, pipes that he had when he came back. Most of them are unbranded. They're probably not worth a lot of money, but I'm never going to get rid of them because they mean a lot to me. Just like this pipe means a lot to me, and so does the other one. This pipe was like the first nice pipe that I ever had. It smokes unbelievably. The other Linear I've got with me, I bought like from Trevor himself. He was at the shop one day. And like I said, I really like them. They have sentimental value to them. But with that being said, I've got a lot of Petersons. I've got some Savinellis too. They're unbelievably good smoking pipes. It's just pipes are really personal, right? And then
I was just going to say, you talk about that anytime somebody comes in, especially when we're getting into that time of the year, holiday shopping season, when maybe wives or girlfriends or whomever is coming in to buy a pipe or wants to buy a pipe as a gift for somebody. And
I always tell them,
unless they're just absolutely just dead set on buying that pipe, we're very much and Ethan does is very much in the encouragement of like, if you really want them to get a pipe here, why don't you get them a gift card for the amount the pipe would be, and let them pick it out themselves.
Oh yeah,
because a pipe is very personable.
Yeah, if a woman's coming in to buy a pipe
the way
for
it
somebody,
feels, all of those things, the way it looks.
Yeah, I always tell them like, would you ever let your husband or boyfriend or whomever pick out a purse for you, sight unseen? Probably not.
No.
Right? Like, it's just never going to happen. It's the same thing with a pipe.
And I also think like the average, the person who's looking to buy a pipe enjoys the process of picking the pipe out, at a very high level. Like it's part of that journey is like touching, feeling, looking at them, seeing which one, fits you best. But it very much is a personal thing, how it feels in your hand, how it feels in your mouth or whatever it may be. Obviously, we don't let people stick it in their mouth,
they'll just do this number of.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is going to fit good in my mouth.
That's right. So that type of process makes it a big difference for people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure every pipe that you own has at least a piece of personality to it that fits you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like whatever what catches my eye and what speaks to me. And that's a big thing I tell people,
and I don't think
too.
I'm speaking out of turn, but the camera's picking up your jacket and shirt and your hat. A guy like that just doesn't grab a off-the-rack pipe or whatever, just looks at it. Like, you like the way it looks, the way it feels, the way it fits. Absolutely.
It feels.
Nothing, and I love that about it. That's why, the artist and the craftsmanship, we've got all different kinds of pipe makers out there who make wild interpretations of what their pipes are. You know, we have them at the shop. We've had them over the years, and we'll get into, as we're lighting this and smoking, like different styles of pipes, you know, the differences between Briar and Meerschaum or whatever it may be. But it's an eclectic world of tobaccos, pipes, and people, right? Like, it very much matches up the thing. You look so goddamn sophisticated when I look over you there smoking that pipe. There's just like a level of confidence that I see in you right now that I'm not sure I like it, to be honest. It's a little intimidating.
A level of confidence a cigar can't provide.
Okay, so you're going to show us a different way to pack this.
So I'm going to show 2 more ways to pack.
Okay.
So it's also, before, what we packed in your pipe was a ribbon cut. So they'll go through the process of curing, stem it out and shred it, and then they'll blend together accordingly. Another step they'll do after that is they'll compress it down using machinery into like big blocks, and then sometimes they'll cut it out and it'll be like that right there, which is a cake. So this is what I'm ultimately be smoking. But after they have in that block, that cake form, sometimes they'll slice it out into what you get is a flake cut right there. I'm very big on flake cuts.
Okay.
I was like, most of my favorite pipe tobacco is a flake cut, and number 1 being Cornell and Dill Bayou Morning Flake, which I just recently ran out of, or else I'd be smoking that day.
Got some Bayou Morning ribbon cut if you want some.
That's not the same. That's the thing too, right? So I would encourage people to, like, you know, get some of the ribbon cut Bayou Morning and get some of the flake cut and smoke them like separately, just to see that different nuances of flavor they can get. So this one,
check our recording there real quick.
yeah,
Just to be sure.
just to be sure. That would be horrible.
Oh, we did it. We did it with Franklin the last 10 minutes.
Did we? So let's see. We'll take
You
that
got
there.
the technical difficulties of the video treatment.
So I forget the exact name for this method, but it was shown to me by Richard Turner at the Gatlin Burlier in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Oh,
he is very big in the pipe community, and he's known as the Dread Tiger, right? I encourage
Richard not knowing he's getting a shout out on a very popular podcast.
The Dread Tiger, Richard Turner.
What's your nickname?
Yeah, it ain't as cool
It's
as
not
Dread
as cool as
Tiger, I can tell you that.
So, I've learned a lot about pipes and pipe tobacco from him.
Is this the guy that's in the mall in Gatlinburg?
Yes, all about Gatlinburg.
Chewing
You
tobacco
know,
from him before.
he's like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
old Southern man, has a very distinct accent for that region, and like he's a wealth of knowledge, but he can tell you many of a tale. And I'll tell you, I love going there and hanging out with him for like 2 hours and just hearing the knowledge,
Hearing the stories, yeah.
hearing the stories. And he told me the name of this, but we're gonna name it after him. So this is the Dread Tiger method of packing flake. So you're just gonna like
game of all time.
kind of roll it up into a ball. And, like, this is one of those things where you got to learn this.
I feel like this is a method T-Money would use. Oh, he's got his headphones in. He can't hear.
Yeah. It's kind of like rolling it up into a ball and then just packing it in there. And it's like something like a lot of people with flake, because, like, normally what you want to do with flake, yes, that's draw and go.
I've never seen someone do that before.
Yeah, that looks like the just jam it in there method.
You're kind of like jamming it in there, but you got to be like conscious of what you're doing. So I've had enough experience. I know how much pressure to put in.
Is that the most common method that you pack a pipe with right there?
That's like,
when you're smoking. When you're smoking,
so I'm gonna show the next method I'm gonna show you is the way I pack it now, and I learned it recently. But normally with flake, you do want to like rub it in your hands like I was doing and break it up. But if you don't want to take that extra step, or maybe, you're too eager to go ahead and get smoke, and that's a way of, like, getting it packed where you don't have to break out a tray.
It's just honestly impressive.
Just jammed in there.
Yeah. So I
hope you don't want to get it out.
Jammed it in there gently. So this next method.
There's so many innuendos.
So now I'm going to take this cake.
It's a rated R
and
podcast.
I'm going to, like, break it off.
You said that's cake.
This is cake.
Yeah.
So, it's okay to break off a little bit more than what you need, because you can always put it back in that tin.
Yeah, it is. This is the most
sexually
innuendo
that
podcast
I've ever
of all
done.
time.
Well, maybe not the most awkward, but one of the most awkward things I've ever done at the shop. And I just started. We were selling some pipe tobacco in bulk, And I looked at grown-ass man dead in his eyes, and I said, "Do you want me to rub it out for you?" And everybody just stopped what they were doing and looked at me. And I was
Sir,
like,
would you like to have me rub this out for you? They call me the pipe layer around here. You know that, right? Wait, what?
"I'm just soft hands."
Soft hands. But like with cake, you're really gonna want to rub it out. Like I wouldn't try to take a chunk of like this cake and then try to do what I just did.
So as you're doing that, when we're talking ribbon cut versus cake versus flake, what's the intention when each one is done in that fashion? Is it just a stylistic thing?
I mean, to a degree, it's a stylistic thing, but I feel like you get a different journey of flavor.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because like you end up like especially with excuse me with that cake, you're getting a little bit more moisture being held in that tobacco, so it can hold a little bit longer without you having to like throw it in a mason jar and like throwing a boveda in there and like regulating some humidity. But I definitely like for me like that's why I was recommending like smoking the Bayou ribbon and the flake because it's two different journeys of flavor.
Interesting. Okay.
Even though it's like the same blend completely. So this is what I call the Big Les method.
The big what?
The Big Les method.
Yeah, this
was shown
we're gonna
to
get
me-
an NC-17 tag on this video.
So this was shown to me by this guy Leslie at the Cigar Room in Florence, Alabama.
There's so many guys who never thought they were
I
gonna
know.
get a shout on a pod in the history of their life. They're just like
so-
the Big Les.
So we're doing this multi-vendor event
Grind that
for their
coochie like a
anniversary.
pumpkin pie.
Oh god,
That's a Big Les.
yeah. And guy bought a Peterson pipe, and then he bought a 10 of some Cornell and Deal, and he asked Leslie, "Well, can you pack it for me?" Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking Leslie's just gonna like gravity feed it like I showed you.
Yeah.
Well, Leslie takes the pipe tobacco in his hand like this, and then he starts doing this. And like I'm just like, what the fuck is he doing? Like
For those who can't see this, you're just listening to the audio.
Yeah.
Waylon's jerking this pipe off.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
and he loaded it up,
And
like
he's
that.
finished.
And it's a very quick way to load a pipe
Yeah.
too. And and he hands it to the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, it draws perfectly." And I'm like, Leslie, I was like, "You just blew my fucking mind, dude." And he's like, "What? You never seen a pipe packed like that before?" And I was like, No, I haven't." And he's like, "That's the only way you should pack a pipe." And I was like, "Well, why do you pack it that way?" And I can't remember every word he said, but he said it was akin to a fire, where you got the smaller bits at the bottom and you're growing big. So by doing it that way and manipulating the pipe tobacco, it does the right amount at the bottom and is thicker as you go up to the top.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and since this is an Paul type pipe, I gotta add a little bit more.
Like a French dish?
Yeah.
But that's that is now your preferred method
That's my
personally.
preferred personally, I prefer.
And you would do that with cake or ribbon?
Yes.
Or flake?
Or flake.
All
Am
those-
I gonna break the flake down? Like that's how I'm gonna pack.
Yeah, that's more the delivery inside
Yeah.
the pipe than anything.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Did you get
now-
that, Patrick? No, my God.
oh,
We'll
well.
show you afterwards. God damn
Oh
it.
well. Oh yeah. Put my tampers over here.
Ridiculous.
All right. So
Okay.
now we're gonna light.
All right.
So what you're gonna want to do first for that initial light.
Well, let's start with.
Do you have a soft flame?
I got a soft flame.
Okay.
So that's what I was going to say. Start with.
So you're gonna want to use a soft flame lighter, preferably butane. You could use a Zippo, but I just don't like the taste of Zippo fuel can have on
Yeah,
tobacco. So definitely something with butane. Like
Or matches.
Number one, especially if you're listening to your cigar, never use a torch.
never use a torch.
Too much heat.
If
right?
you use a torch, I will hunt you down and beat the crap out of you.
He'll do it.
I will do it.
I saw it.
I will do it. Matter of fact, a few weeks ago, I almost smacked the crap out of a guy because he was trying to use a torch. Because everybody wanted to smoke a pipe, and somebody lent him a pipe to smoke because he didn't have one. And I'm like,
borrowed pipe.
and I was like, and I just smack his hand. And he's like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "You're lucky I didn't smack you across the face. I didn't give you the old Carolina smack."
What are you smoking?
So I'm smoking Captain Earl's 10 Russians.
10 Russians.
10 Russians.
Oh.
Yeah. So I will say, like, the Captain Earl's is probably one of the more underrated tobaccos we offer in our catalog.
And what style is Captain Earl's?
don't know. I was like, I have people given comparisons to like Frog Morton with some of the blends.
Well, I guess
Is
more
that
like,
English?
yeah. Well, so that's I guess that more my question.
Yeah,
if we're
I'd
breaking
say
it simplistically, you have as we're lighting this. Well, let's light it first, then we'll kind of go through the
Yeah.
tiers of what
Yeah.
we consider. So, all right, start
All right,
out
so-
properly here.
So when you light it, get it lit. You're gonna
wrong way.
so
Psych.
what you're gonna want to do is take long, slow draws while you're like taking the flame around the bowl,
That is not
and
my
you
style.
don't have to put the flame right
I
on
like
the
to go
bowl.
hard and fast and quick.
You don't have to put the flame right on the bowl,
Okay.
right? So I mean, you can watch me and you'll get the idea.
T, what do you think, bud?
This episode brought to you by T Money.
Yeah, you need to fill the void with talking.
Yeah, sorry, that's my bad.
It does get a little awkward. You'll notice as you're doing that, there's long, slow draws, because we're trying to get that tobacco combusted and it's coming up. And I mean, you could probably, I don't know how well they can see from here, but you can see how that tobacco's risen.
Yep.
So you're gonna take your tamper, which you got one built in.
So I was told, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I was told that's always called the false light.
Yeah, the false light.
Is that technical term for it?
technical term, but I
Alright.
just call it the starting
Would
light.
you equate that to?
God, that autumn evening smells good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you equate that to like toasting a cigar?
Yeah, it's
initially,
like
the
initially.
same type of.
So you're toasting.
Yeah.
And now you're just gonna take your tamper, push down what came up, and now when
And
we're,
what kind of pressure are we talking about here?
I mean, just to get it flattened down. You don't have to like manhandle it.
Okay.
I think this is one of the hardest steps for
Okay,
people
yeah,
that are
yeah.
starting out to get used to,
They
because
either don't, hard enough.
you either tamp it too light, and the flame, you're not keeping the coal on the tobacco, because there's nothing on this tobacco that makes it want to burn, right? And heat rises. So the only thing keeping it lit is you tamping that hot ash down onto the fresh tobacco, and then you drawing the flame down into the tobacco by smoking it. But that false light is so important because it establishes that layer of coal, basically.
Yes.
But getting it right, if you tamp it too light, you're not going to do that. If you tamp it too hard, you're going to restrict airflow, and you're not going to be able to smoke the pipe. So I think that's one of the hardest things for people to get right when they're starting out.
Yeah. I concur, sir.
I appreciate
concur.
that, because
So
I've told a lot of
I
people that,
agree.
and if you told me I was
agree.
wrong, then I was going to be like, damn, I've told a lot of people the
So-
wrong thing.
All right. So
Now-
we've done the quote unquote
okay.
false light.
So now
Tamped
we're
it
gonna
back
get it
down.
going.
Yep.
So now we're gonna puff quicker. Now you probably notice tobacco still might rise up,
Yep.
but just tamp it down a little.
Okay.
Hit it again.
Okay.
So
Long,
so
Draws,
that
short draws?
short draws.
short,
So this one we're
Quicker draws.
quicker draws.
more my style.
Quicker draws.
Shout out my wife.
I'm not doing a good job of filling the void here. But I will say, that really smells good.
Oh yeah.
It smells so good.
It really does.
It smells so good.
Now, is there a visual cue, like when you're, for those like myself, when you're smoking a cigar, you're done doing that, you kind of blow on the end, a lot of people do, whatever. You can visually see that ember at the end of the cigar, right? To
Yeah.
kind of cue you as to, oh, I've got a spot here, or I don't, or whatever. Do you get the same kind of visual cue on this, or is
Yeah.
it more?
Well, you can see like I mean, if you're looking down at it while you're lighting it, you could tell certain spots you didn't hit as well. Like with me, I say I got that pretty good, and you.
So maybe my outer ring of it needs it better?
I was like, just like that side, but I mean, also as you smoke it, it'll spread. Because there are sometimes when you don't get a good proper light on a cigar, and then sometimes it'll
Yeah, you gotta
even
touch it up.
it can even
Or it
itself,
can even
itself out.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reality is when you're learning this, there's going to be it's baby steps.
Yeah.
You know, a cigar you can pick up and be taught and probably get the handle on the process pretty quickly. But listen, you're going to need to relight this thing, right? Like
Yeah.
you're going to have to
gonna-
keep touching it up
And
until
that-
you
and
get
that's where
until
I
you get
feel
your
like-
own personal technique.
And I feel like that's where a lot of people get frustrated, is like how often they feel like they have to relight it, but there are ways of getting around that. So, like one thing you can do, periodically as you're smoking, just take your tamper.
Tamp it down. When you're doing that, what kind of a scale of 1 to 10? What kind of pressure are you putting on your tamper and pushing that down with?
Maybe a 1 or 2.
Okay, so light pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, light pressure, because, like, over time that ash is going to start building up. And if you can keep it leveled with the ember, like, you can keep the pipe lit a lot longer without having to touch it up with your lighter.
Right.
And, like, and a lot of people don't know that, and that probably comes from nobody really teaching them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like another thing is that not enough time is being given to properly teach people all the nuances of, like, how to smoke a pipe.
Yeah.
Because, like, another thing I learned, too, now I wouldn't recommend doing this while we're, still at the top of the bowl, but...
The old chimney method?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which you're kind of, at that point, you're choking air off to it, basically, or...
Well, you're basically making it in an oven, right? So
yeah,
you're
creating
helping
more of a vacuum in there
yeah,
where it's really putting a lot of...
that's something that I used to do way too often, and because I wanted to smoke it like a cigar. So if I wasn't getting good smoke production, I would chimney it, and then it'd get hot, and then I'd get tongue bite, and then I'd get pissed off.
And that's a good point, too. Like, if you're used to that heavy smoke and constant smoke production of a cigar, that's not necessarily the case with a pipe at all. So your visual cues on it can be a little... make you believe that, hey, this is not doing what it's supposed to do, because if you're comparing it to a cigar, it's just not going to be the same.
I mean, because you're not going to get a whole lot of smoke coming from the pipe like you would a cigar.
Right.
I mean, there are certain pipe tobaccos that can help reduce that level of thickness of smoke. But, like, if you're smoking a pipe and you got a consistently thick smoke the whole time, you're smoking it way too fast.
Too fast.
Too fast.
Yep. Okay. And that is my number one problem. That is my numero problem.
A big thing that can help show you if, you're smoking it too fast. If you feel like it's a little too warm in your hand, just put it up against your cheek. Mm-hmm. If it's burning your flesh, guess what?
Too hot.
Way too hot. And I've been talking so much, I feel like I got to get this relit.
Well, I'll fill the void here because we'll talk about pipe tobacco real quick since we're smoking now. So we always tell people at the shops that there's 3 kinds of pipe tobacco, and I know that the umbrella is
that's a generalization.
This is you're a brand new pipe smoker. I'm not trying to overwhelm you with information here, right? Aromatics, Virginias, and Englishes. Obviously, there are branches to that: Balkan blends, Virginia Perique, whatever, fire cured, But those are the 3 main ones that we always tell people about, or how we categorize it. From what I've seen. Actually, how about this? Give me a number. How much do you think of the pipe tobacco world is aromatic pipe tobacco?
Whew. Honestly, I think it's a small percentage.
You think so?
Really?
You think it's a small percentage, but more people smoke aromatic?
Kind of like the 80-20 rule?
Because the only reason I'm asking is because y'all's number one seller is an aromatic.
Yes, it's an aromatic.
The number one seller in the world is 1Q, which is an aromatic.
I know, but it's like in my journeys and the people that sit down and want to talk to me, granted they're seasoned pipe smokers, so they're probably kind of out of that aromatic phase. But I feel like I meet more of those, more niche, I guess we'll say, pipe smokers than I do meet like the ones like getting into it a lot of the time. I'll meet a lot of the newbies when I'm doing a pipe show like I'll be doing with y'all here shortly, but
November the 22nd.
November.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yep. But anyway, but it's like I thought I would see more aromatic pipe smokers on the road, but I feel like that's not the case. It's like maybe they're the type where they don't feel confident hanging out at a lounge and smoking an aromatic pipe because
that surprises me.
Yeah,
that surprises me too.
To be honest with you, if I was going to answer the question you just asked him, I would have said 70+%.
So 75 was the number I had in my head, if not 80. But that's just because looking at numbers and looking at volume of pipe tobacco that we sell, bulk pipe tobacco specifically, I bet 98% of the bulk pipe tobacco we sell is aromatic.
Yeah.
And then obviously most of the tins that we sell are going to be Virginia Perique blends, English, Balkan, fire cured, whatever. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my experience.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
It's just, it seems like the social butterflies want to be like those.
Yeah, now
English smokers, the vapors, your Virginia and Perique is what you would call a vapor, by the way. Or your Virginia Burley smokers as well. Like,
yeah, and I mean,
those are the ones
at
that
the
are
pipe show, that's what we'll have more of. Like, we won't sell as much aromatic pipe tobacco at the pipe show. We'll sell a bunch of tins of stronger tobacco. But when you're starting out smoking a pipe, would you recommend starting out on aromatic tobacco?
I would either start off on aromatic or something that has a lot of Kia base as the blend, because I feel like a lot of Kia is a lot more approachable than like some type of a vapor blend, or like just strictly Virginia or like strictly Burley. But then again, I don't know. The more I think about it too, going back to Richard Turner, I remember I bought a German pipe from him one time, and I asked him, I'm buying this pipe from you. I want your professional opinion. We've known each other for a little bit now. I was like, what would you recommend to break this pipe in with? And he's like, well, you're going to want to do a Virginia Burley blend like the good Lord intended. And it's like, I will say, like, I got like their Virginia Burley blend. I forget the exact name of it, but and like I broke it in with that, and I was like, in all honesty, I felt like that wasn't like an overwhelming experience on the palate or even the nicotine level like affecting my brain like at all. So it all depends on like how it's blended.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I would recommend like aromatic, because even with cigars, a lot of people get into cigars from smoking a flavored or an infused cigar. So it's a good gateway, because when I started off smoking a pipe, aromatic.
Me too. I think the first thing I ever smoked in a pipe was 1Q. And if it wasn't 1Q, it was BCA, Lane's BCA. And then I moved to Highland Whiskey, and I smoked Highland Whiskey from Stokkebye for a long time. And then I got into Virginias. And the thing about Virginias for me, being a cigar smoker, is Virginias have more flavor on the palate. Mm-hmm. They also have more nicotine, which is what I'm used to from cigars. I always tell people, and you can agree or disagree with me, that aromatic pipe tobacco, for the most part, and there are an exception to this, about 90% of what you smell is the room note, and 10% is going to be what you taste on the palate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of Sutliff stuff was like that, where you would smell it, the 10 notes, smelling it out of the bag. Oh, my God, this smells so intoxicating. Can't wait to smoke it. And then you smoke it, and you barely get that flavor, while I'll say with C&D, even though the topping effect, which is what you would call that flavoring on a aromatic blend, it's not heavy, but I feel like I can actually pick up like that maple flavor.
Are you getting the maple on the
Yeah,
palate?
for sure.
I was like, I could pick up the hazelnut out of the nutty.
Yep.
Which, it's interesting. But then again, like I've always believed that the process with the tobacco at C&D has always been cleaner and better than Sutliff. I mean, may Sutliff rest in peace.
Yeah, may Sutliff rest in peace.
But like, they would put way too much fucking topping on their shit.
They still sell creme brulee, and if I weigh out any amount of creme brulee, my hands smell like creme brulee for the rest of the day because it's so wet and so sticky.
Yep.
And there's plenty of people that love that, absolutely love that. But I'm much more of a fan of what you guys do, because Autumn Evening is very aromatic. Like, you can smell it through the bag when we get it in, and it's very aromatic now while you're smoking it, but it feels cleaner on the hand when you're weighing it out and whatnot. It actually looks like, this is going to sound silly, especially if you haven't ever seen Sutliff tobacco, but it actually looks like tobacco. Like, Sutliff creme brulee and spiced rum looked like chewing tobacco to me.
Yeah.
Like, it was ribbon cut chewing tobacco. That's how wet that stuff was.
You could put like a 10 of just about anything Sutliff next to Cornell and Deal, and you could see a dramatic difference in the quality of the tobacco.
And that's not to say Sutliff made bad tobacco. They make great tobacco. It's just fascinating to see the difference between the two, because then on the other hand, you've also got number one pipe tobacco in the world, which is Lane 1Q, and it doesn't look flavored at all. And it's a light top dressing, I know, but it's just so interesting to see how everybody kind of does it. But what y'all are doing at Cornell and Deal, in my opinion, is the best stuff on the market right now.
So, and when we're talking about it, so our tiers. You've got aromatic, and there's no particular order. You got Englishes, and then you've got Virginias. That's kind of our generalized breakdown.
Yeah, very generalized.
And
That's his
like
generalized
you said,
breakdown. I just put it in 2 categories.
yeah.
Well, actually, I have my own 3 categories. There's your aromatic smoker, your traditional tobacco blend smoker, and then the hybrid person that likes to enjoy aromatics and like your Englishes and Virginias and all that stuff.
And amongst the aromatics, it goes all over the place.
Yeah.
Like this is automated, and you have the 1Qs, but we have creme brulee, we have espresso, the flavor.
Cherry, right?
Cherry,
like that's the one that it
vanilla,
whiskey,
the flavor palette.
It's all over the place,
everywhere. So you kind of pick your poison there. Can get whatever you want, and then so let's say Virginias. What's the distinct separation for the distinct gold star that makes it a Virginia when you're talking about it?
It's more so the flavor is going to be sweet and can be citrusy.
Okay.
I mean, we go burley, that's going to be predominantly earthy, but you could get like a cocoa espresso kind of element to it. A lot of Kia is going to be, I'd say it's woody, similar to like a Kentucky Fire Cured, but there's more of a sweetness, like a florally sweetness to it, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you'd agree with me that or not.
I don't like Laudisi.
Yeah.
So,
and then
Laudisi is very much a love-hate
is
thing.
like one of those weird ones to where it depends on the process of it. But there's times where like, Perique can be like citrusy, and there's other times where it's umami, depending on how like it's cured.
Gotcha. So. And then you go from that into the Englishes. What's the distinct vibe that Englishes give?
I don't know. To me, it's like a lot of the English blends I've smoked that I've enjoyed have been like a lot of Kia base.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of Kia seems to be the starting element, and then they go from there. Like, with Virginias and stuff to like try to add in that sweet factor, and then, maybe some Perique to get maybe that umami effect, or add a layer of citrus, even though you're kind of getting that level of citrus from a Virginia.
So for those that are listening that have never smoked a pipe before and have never smelled pipe tobacco before, right? And you tell me, agree, disagree here. Everybody knows, well, most people know what the difference between bourbon and Scotch is, right? I always tell people Virginia is more like a bourbon, whereas Englishes are more like Scotch, because Latakia does have that smoky note, and that goes back to how Latakia used to be cured back in the day, when they would do it in Syria, which now you don't really get anything out of Syria because of the war and whatnot. They used to cure it.
Cyprus, I think.
Yeah,
is where
Cyprus
it's
is the
now.
big one. When they did it, they would fire cure it, but you're in the desert, so there's nothing to burn. There's no wood to burn, right? So they would burn camel shit. And that's how they would smoke it, and it'd give it this really smoky smell. And now they don't do that, obviously, but it's kind of how like they're peating the Scotch. It gives it this really smoky aroma to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Hell, one crazy thing I read one time back when they were growing it in Syria, like they would be growing so much tobacco that they would hang it up in the roofs of their houses, and that's how they kind of discovered doing that curing effect that way.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Real quick, what should I smoke?
Oh, God.
I just smoked Carolina Red Flake.
Smoke Carolina Red Flake.
I don't like
is there
English.
anything up there you haven't smoked?
Well, in,
I haven't
Carolina
smoked the
Red
vast
I already have the 10 Russians out.
So you had the Carolina
Yeah, but I don't like
Red Flake.
Latakia.
Where
I don't
does
like Latakia.
where does Carolina Red Flake fall on?
It's a Virginia.
It's a
Virginia.
Perique.
So it's like, so the what he smokes is like probably somewhere 80-90% Virginia in that blend, and then like a small percentage of Perique.
Okay.
Where traditionally with that blend, most of the time it's just strictly Virginia. Like it's just a bunch of different Virginias, like across the Carolinas, sometimes like out of other regions. But I'm trying to think.
I've had Briar Fox before.
Lean in here, Waylon, and break down kind of what you brought with you that you're going to show, and tell me a little bit about. So what you're smoking was the something Earls. Remind me.
Captain Earl's Tin
Captain.
Russians.
That is considered a Virginia.
This would be like a Lakia base blend.
Okay.
So
Which doesn't really fall into either of those categories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wouldn't recommend that. Director's cut HU. Oh shit.
Did you just knock it off?
Jason.
Well, that's
I messed up.
the good news is it's a cake, so you
Oh
you
yeah.
didn't
see,
lose
yeah.
all of
You
it.
didn't lose all of it.
You know,
It'll add character.
there's some carpet in there now that might add some good flavor. We'll
There
see.
you go. See, exactly. There's always a silver lining.
I mean, so the warps that we just started distributing,
Yeah, I might smoke this.
like the way those are blended is to actually encourage a cigar smoker to try out smoking a pipe because there is like cigar grade tobacco in those blends.
Is it good?
That's good. That's my favorite.
This one is?
Yeah.
All right, so you said I'm probably going to smoke both of them because I
Yeah.
want to try this. I may smoke half a ball of each. What was the HU that you said?
The
to try?
HU, the director's cut there,
Which one? This one?
that big 10 right there.
Is this a Virginia? Burley and Perique. Is it fire cured? Kentucky?
Yep. And it's got some bullseye flicks in there.
Ooh.
Tiny little ones.
Yeah. For anyone that
Yeah, right
is
there.
watching.
A little guy.
Little bullseye
yeah,
flake
yeah.
right
Yeah.
there. Smells good.
And then I know we sell Nutty Irishman. What is Virginia English? What is Nutty Irishman?
So here's the thing. Our catalog is so big
Yeah.
that it is impossible for me to memorize every single tobacco
Oh,
in
I'm
it.
sure.
Because like there's so many pipe tobaccos. I was like, even with and then there's so many different pipes to remember and stuff like that. So I don't care if you're gonna judge me for picking up this 10 right now, just to see if it gives us an idea. But I feel like most of the time, So most of the time with aromatics, they tend to not list the tobaccos that are in there.
Yeah.
But if I had to guess, there's definitely some Virginia in there, and probably some Burley.
Okay.
But it's just really telling you like the flavor experience
Okay.
on the back.
A unique blend combining the heavenly hazelnut flavor
Yes,
of Frangelico. Is that-
Frangelica.
Yeah, it's a liqueur.
Liqueur.
Okay. Would this be considered an aromatic?
Yeah.
Is that an aromatic?
That's
okay,
an
gotcha.
aromatic.
All right, gotcha.
That's our number 2.
English
That's,
breakfast.
Yeah, English breakfast. HU English breakfast.
That's a Virginia Latakia.
yeah. So
I know
Virginia
that because it
Latakia.
says it right on the front.
I mean, it says it right there on the
God,
front.
you're good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
It's good.
I mean,
Quick
it helps.
study.
Thank
It
you.
helps.
Thank you. Bijou?
Yep, Bijou.
Bijou.
Yeah, so that's gonna be Virginia.
It's, Eastern North Carolina, Red Virginia, crown this jewel.
Yep. That's a flake cut. And then you got your spark plug. That's another one I think is a cake.
Okay.
But that one's gonna be like a Lakia base too. I picked out a lot of Lakia blends that Ethan's probably not happier on the table.
Yeah, he's not a Latakia guy.
That's like I just grabbed a bunch of stuff out of the bag and threw it on the table.
All right. Well, speaking of the things you threw on the table, right now you've got about half a dozen or more pipes on there, including the one that you packed with where you jammed it.
Yeah.
Show me some differentiation.
Different breed.
Yeah. For the average person, we talked about how personable it is for anybody who chooses a pipe, but you got different size bowls, different names for things. Like that one right there, for example, this
one?
right there. Yeah.
That one?
So that
So
is that a bulldog? Is that what that's called?
no, this
No.
this is what you would call an author.
Author.
An author.
Okay.
Because you feel like you're studious and you're going to write a novel with holding this pipe is what I like to
That's right
tell
up my
people.
aisle. Wow.
So this is
Get some leather patches on your
the-
tweed jacket.
yeah, tweed jacket. So this is a Savinelli whiskey 320 KS. So interesting thing about this pipe is part of their flavored series. So when you buy this pipe brand new, there's actually a layer of whiskey in the bowl.
No kidding.
Okay.
So you get that added flavor of whiskey. I'd recommend smoking probably some Virginia Burley blend or something that's not going to be too heavy and Latakia or especially Perique, because it can overpower and you don't get that experience at all. But, author, that would be in the apple family of shapes.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if you kind of look at it from the side there, it's somewhat reminiscent of an apple. And I mean like the fruit, but there is like what's called an apple bowl.
Is there, so a person's coming in and we're talking to them about it, is there a different smoking experience based on shape, size?
So,
like a bowl size, for example. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can get very, the pipe Ethan's smoking, I would consider that. Would you consider that small bowl on that one?
Yeah.
This is probably, the one I'm smoking is probably medium. Consider that medium?
That's about standard.
Standard.
Standard. So standard would be medium.
Okay.
That's like, like with the
I would consider that
with
large.
the whiskey, like that's a larger bowl.
Yep.
But like at the same time, it's probably gonna smoke just as long as what your bowl size is, in my opinion. It's just what I would consider a. Oh, that probably just made a loud noise. My shoulder rubbing against the mic.
You're good. You're good.
Like this one, like that's a big bowl, like a deep, very deep,
yeah.
deep bowl.
Yep.
Just to give you an idea. And of course, this is a Savinelli autograph sandblast, so one of a kind pipe. There's no two pipes like this in the world, and I'm proud to own this.
Yeah.
That's a nice pipe.
But is that going to give you? Is that still falling into the style piece versus like the smoking aspect?
It's more of the style. So, in all honesty, right? You have people out there that say like a bent stem is going to smoke differently than.
So that was kind of leading me into my actual
Like a
question.
straight stem.
Is that a fact or fiction statement? Like, this does better than that. That does better. The air travel, this and that, or is it really just boiled down to personal preference?
Like this, like they're gonna smoke. So the journey's gonna be the same as far as flavor and everything goes.
Yeah.
The only time when you smoke a pipe, and it's gonna be different, I would say, is with a church warden, where granted I don't have a church.
You don't have
warden
church warden, but church warden. Long stem.
It's
the
like,
Gandalf
it's
pipe.
like, so this is
the
what
stem's probably 7 inches long,
something like that.
Yeah.
So like this is what you would kind of fall under a demi warden, somewhere in between like a standard like pipe length or bit length or a stem length, I mean, to a church warden, because like a church warden's gonna be like out there most of the time.
Yep.
But with a church warden, I find that when you smoke that, the smoke tends to be much cooler once it gets to your palate versus like smoking out of
because of the travel time.
Because of the
basically.
travel time.
Yeah.
That time it takes to get to your mouth, I feel like it cools it down a little bit. But other than that, like there's no difference from, to me, smoking like this Paul shape to a straight billiard.
Yeah. So it really does boil down to it's a style thing.
It's a style
It's a
thing.
personal preference.
And
you're not going to get, because you can get, we find, if we're talking cigars, yes, different sizes of the same cigar should have the same blend, but it doesn't always typically smoke like that, right? You get down to a smaller ring gauge Corona or Lancero, I think like a lot of times you're getting more wrapper to binder filler ratio, and it can, while it's still in the same wheelhouse, right? Like I feel like you can get a different, well, maybe not drastic, but a different experience from it than, let's say, a 60 ring gauge, where that ratio is more to the binder filler than it is anything else. But you don't necessarily see that with bowl size on a pipe, you don't think?
No. I was like, to me, it's like, it's. So we talk like about a corn cob, right? Real cheap pipe, or even sometimes with certain like lower quality briar in a basket pipe. I feel like once you make that jump up from there to like a quality briar, you do get a different smoking experience with a quality briar versus like a lower tiered kind of quality briar, basket pipe, or corn cob. Corn cob definitely smokes differently than like briar would.
Where do you think that threshold is? There's an obvious threshold from a corn cob into really any briar.
Yeah.
But where's that point when you start paying for the pipe maker versus the pipe itself?
As
In your
honestly,
opinion. And obviously, this is, I'm not holding you to anything or anything like that, but it's true with anything. Any product anybody buys. There is a threshold for what you are paying for a luxury name in a lot of ways. And that's not to knock the quality of it, but, we pride ourselves in giving great value. Like, we love and it sells very well, your guys' Rossi line, which I would consider that a value Savinelli. I mean, would you agree with that statement?
I would agree.
Yeah.
That's definitely an entry level if you're trying to get into Savinelli. But go ahead.
But I was gonna say, but it, for me, quality, look at all that, still up there though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you're getting a lot of bang for your buck out of a Rossi,
Oh, yeah.
in my opinion.
I was like, same with Rossi, same with Molina's. As I tell people, you're going from that corncob basket. Next step up would either be a Molina or a Rossi. Some of the Molinas, for your average Joe that wants to make that next step, you're looking like in the 70 range up to 100. Where Rossi's, you're a little under 100. Going up to right around 100.
Yep.
So that would be that step of we're getting away from, pardon my language, but shit.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
And then getting into that realm of quality, and then in all honesty, from there, then it becomes what you like and see, and what fits you or what you feel like fits you that you want part of your collection. Because like me, I said this before, right? It's a pipe has to speak to me before I buy it, and I tell people when I'm doing an event, what here speaks to you. There's at least one pipe here that's saying, buy me, buy me, buy me.
Yeah.
And I was and if you have that feeling, then just spend the money on it. Some people be like, well, I don't know, price, blah, 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 blah. Well, if your gut feeling tells you that you need to own that pipe, then just buy the pipe.
Yeah.
Spend your money now, make more later is what I say.
I like this guy.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Money's no object. What are you buying, pipe-wise?
I mean, for me, Petersons are going to be my favorite brand. Always have been. Because
here's a better question.
Yeah.
What is it that you personally look for in a pipe that fits you, your personality, your style? You said you like the P-lip, correct? I mean, that's your preferred. Give me the rundown of what you like. Or are you eclectic across the board? It kind of doesn't matter.
I mean, if you kind of look at what I've got here, it would all be considered weird to, I feel like, the average pipe smoker.
Okay.
Because, it's we go from this. You don't see a lot of guys smoking Paul-shaped pipes. I was but, I do gravitate towards a bent stem because I do like to let it rest in my mouth.
Yep.
Now, granted, who knows if you can understand what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
But that's easy to, it's easy to...
Hot. Got a new pipe.
Hot pipe. He needs another pipe. Reload. But, it's easy to rest in the mouth, Plus, the biggest thing I love with pipes is the pontificating factor. You can point at somebody.
Yeah.
Point at you at home.
Very much can do.
Yeah, you could do that.
You sir.
That's the funnest thing with
asshole.
pipes. Is the pontification part. But it's just how it speaks to me. I mean, and I love sitters. I love the 304s, the 302s with Peterson.
And when you say sitter is a pipe that
know,
literally can sit up on a table or
just like
it's got
that.
that flat bottom
It's
to
got
it.
that flat bottom to it. It's even like this, way older Peterson. This is an outdoor Peterson before Laudisi purchased them. It's a good little nose warmer, little guy.
Yeah, you call that what would you? If a person was smoking with that short of a stem,
Yeah.
is it gonna smoke hotter?
I was you'll definitely in the winter time months, you can definitely feel that heat coming off.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say.
I was but the smoke would be a lot hotter coming out. So
But you wouldn't smoke it necessarily differently.
No, I was maybe a little bit more methodically. So that way, because again, this one doesn't have a P-lip, so you don't want to get that tongue bite. And since that travel time's a lot different, then, be a little bit more conscious of how you're puffing, is what I say. I mean, and then heck, even if we go back to this pipe, right? I feel like a lot of people wouldn't want to own this pipe because it looks too weird. But I love it. I saw this at the wall at the trade show before we even started, and I'm like, yeah, I'm buying that. Because I know, like, somebody's going to see that and want to have that as their showpiece pipe at the shop. I was like, this has to be part of my collection. So what my gut tells me, if I see something, like, I'm going to get it. Like, when I started with the company, they told me I could have a pipe for free. I picked out that. Because I always wanted a Sitter Peterson
sitter
with a spigot system.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you, what the difference between that stem is than your average.
Yeah. So, I mean, 100% silver right there. But what the coolest thing about the spigot systems, you could be done smoking this, take it right apart and clean it.
Yeah.
Or traditionally with like what I'm smoking, what you're smoking, you want to let that bad boy clean off before you take it apart to do a full detail clean.
Yeah. Okay, so that leads me into maybe the last part of Pipe 101, which is, all right, you've got your pipe, you're smoking whatever it may be, you've enjoyed it. What does care look like if you've bought something nice? You went in, came by the Pipe and Pint, you bought, grab that Savinelli Christmas pipe, right? That's right over there. So we have this at the shop. This is the 2025 Christmas pipe, correct?
Correct.
So this is the Savinelli Christmas pipe. You got the Christmas colors. Somebody came in and bought it as a gift for themselves. They've smoked it. They love it. It's a really nice pipe. It's got a great look to it. Give me the routine then for making sure that lasts a long period of time. How often you should clean it, what you should be doing with it to store it after you're done. Like right from the all right, you just finished smoking the bowl. Give me your proper steps after that.
I mean, proper steps after that. You're going to want to take a pipe cleaner. And since this is a brand new pipe, it's going to be okay to run this through.
Yeah, sure.
There may be a filter in it.
Oh, yeah. There's probably going to be a box of filter. So that's one thing with Savinelli's, like, they're 6mm filters. So, but they do come with adapters. So, granted, I'm going to open this up to take out the filter.
Yep.
So that's a balsa wood filter right there. Some people like filters, some people don't. I just recommend putting in the adapter that comes with the kit. But, you're done smoking as long as you don't have a filter in there.
Yep.
Or anything like that. What I do, because I don't like filters, I'll just run that pipe cleaner through. And, since this is a more straighter stem, you're going to get it all the way through to the bowl.
I was going to say, so you want to make sure it gets all the way into the bowl.
And
right?
all the way into the bowl, but, something like what I've been smoking, it ain't going to get to the bowl just because of how aggressive that bend is. So I'm at least clean.
Right.
So, with that, I'm at least cleaning out the stem enough to, clear the passageway as much as I can. But, that shank area is still going to be a little dirty.
Right.
And then, once that, you run it through. Sometimes you take the other clean side, and I'll, run that through, too. Run that in there. Get through to that other side. Pull it out. And then I'll bend it like so, and then I'll just clean the inside of the bowl. Getting all that moisture from, that's built up from the tobacco. Because I will say the common misconception of smoking a pipe, a lot of people think that's their saliva that's going in there. It's just that moisture and the heat from the tobacco.
Coming out of the pipe tobacco,
it's
right?
building in there. And, you just clean the bowl out, as best you can.
This is obviously after, you're done with the bowl. You want to tap the leftover.
Oh, yeah.
Out. Do you go ahead? Do you scrape it out as well?
I scrape it out. I can't stand people that are, trying to, it's like, and it's
like a recipe for
and, they do have, ashtrays that have the little cork stopper, so you can hit that. And I was like, I mean, most of your tampers or even your check tools are going to have, something to dig it out with.
Yep.
You dig it out first, and then you do everything you just saw me do.
Yep.
And then, after that, once you, let it cool down or whatnot, then you pop it open and then maybe clean out that little extra bits. You're
talking when you say cool down, you take the stem off.
Yeah, let it cool down, and then you take.
Because you don't want to take the stem off when the pipe is hot. Am I right in saying that?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only way you get away with that is how I talked about with that.
Because you have the silver there.
Because you got metal on metal touching.
Yep. So not going to be the expansion because you're risking the expansion and then contracting without your stem in there. and it not fitting anymore, basically,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or breaking off inside it.
Yeah,
That too.
Now I've seen things like, is there any time where you're putting any quote unquote liquid in there? Yeah, I've seen things like pipe sweeteners, basically, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen stuff like that too, but like, pick your poison, really, if you want to do that. I don't recommend it.
Yeah,
It's just, there are certain kits that you can buy for cleaning a pipe, so like stem oil kits, stuff like that, to keep it polished up and looking good. Or with a lot of the Petersons, they're going to come with a silver cloth kit if it's silver, so that way you can keep that polished up. But then you have people that like to let it oxidize and have that like worn kind of look.
yeah.
Me, I like shiny.
And then the other thing, again, I'm not familiar with because I don't smoke it enough, is if you're done, how often is it okay to smoke your briar pipe? Because what's the word I'm looking for here? The question I'm trying to ask is, I've heard that you need to let it sit.
Let it dry out.
You let it dry out. You're not supposed, you shouldn't, or is that a misnomer or misconception?
I mean, it's down to preference. Me, the way I look at it is that briar is a very resilient wood, to where, let's just say there was a candle here and I just left this sitting next to it where the wood was touching, right?
Yeah.
It's going to burn the outside, but it's not going to burn through.
Right.
Because that's why briar is like the perfect wood to smoke tobacco out of.
Yep.
Is because of how resilient and tough it is. Like, I might smoke the same pipe 2 or 3 times in a day,
And that's okay.
and
Yeah.
that's okay.
But what about multiple days in a row? Would you smoke the same pipe 2 or 3 times a day?
Yes.
3 consecutive days in a row?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, granted, I have a collection, so I do like to rotate and like smoke through.
And I've always, so the one pipe we haven't talked about yet, and we could probably finish up on, is the meerschaum pipe.
Yes.
Which I've always understood that you could basically smoke that an unlimited amount of times without having to be concerned about the moisture in it or anything like that. Is that true?
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of experience with meerschaums,
Yeah.
but my biggest pet peeve with meerschaums is how hot that bowl gets so quickly, so it turns into like you're
because
holding...
a meerschaum, if you're unfamiliar, which I am, I know what it looks like. If you're at a pipe shop, it's the white pipe.
Yeah.
For lack of better terms.
Meerschaum's somewhere between a salt and a clay.
Yeah.
And the problem with meerschaum at this point is it's overmined, right? So meerschaum was primarily coming from Turkey.
Yep.
And it's a non-renewable resource, right? Like what we've got of it's what we've got of it, and they've mined so much of it that finding a real meerschaum pipe these days is really hard. And if you do find a real one, it's probably going to be horrifically expensive. A lot of the meerschaum pipes that you see today in pipe shops are a synthetic meerschaum, which is basically a paste that they then put in a oven to cure. The problem with those is they don't smoke anywhere near as good as what real meerschaum does, and they can fall apart real easy. They break really easy because you've got micro cracks and crevices.
Yeah, because
pipes.
You're basically pressing something together.
So what we're talking about with meerschaum is like true what's called block meerschaum. If you ever see a meerschaum pipe, a lot of them will have stickers on the bottom of them. They'll say block meerschaum from Turkey. Like that's a real meerschaum pipe. That's going to be a good pipe. If it's like $20, it's not real block meerschaum. It's not worth buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of what he said.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
but
that's
the biggest thing with me is
clear,
like I want to be able to hold on to the
bowl without it being.
Like, now, granted, they make meerschaums where that has this little I forget what you call it, but it's like a little gimmick that
almost like a protector.
Protect your like hands. But most people I see them smoking meerschaum, they always get to the point where they're holding it.
They're holding it like that because it's getting so hot.
Yeah,
gotcha. All right, well, pipe 101. Listen. And
there's still more. There's still more to learn.
Yeah, listen. Pipe just comes along with years. The process of learning and getting into pipe is just like smoking the pipe itself. It is a journey down the road of perfecting it and getting better at it. But if you're looking to get into pipes, looking to get better at it, want some cool stuff, you're with us This is going to drop the Wednesday before our pipe show, which is going to be Saturday, November 22nd.
Yep.
Right? You're with us for the day,
Yeah.
10 to 6. You're coming with your road show, if you will.
Yeah.
All your Petersons, Savinellis, some Rossies, I presume.
Razzies. We're gonna have. We're definitely gonna have a few more unique brands there. One brand I've been getting a lot of people onto is White Elephant.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
they
a
do-
pipe or pipe tobacco?
That's pipe.
Pipe.
It's
Okay.
a pipe. So like, they're two of their styles. I guess styles. Not so much styles, I guess category of like the brand within. It's like their Cameroons and their Saharas. So what's interesting about those pipes that the bowl's made out of ashwood.
It's made out of what?
Ashwood, not briar.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Okay.
I mean, anybody that knows ashwood, it burns very easily.
Yeah.
So what they've done differently, they put graphite in the chamber, so that way you're not burning the wood. But people love those pipes because it doesn't overheat in their hand. Like they can keep
Interesting.
smoking it.
Yeah.
And like, plus they like how the style looks and everything.
Yep.
And like, I've had one guy told me I could smoke multiple bowls out of this, like no problem. So we're gonna try to have a selection of those there.
Okay. Cool.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing that. You're bringing some of the Cornell and Deal pipe tobacco offerings.
Yeah.
We've got a pipe maker joining us, Jeff Payne, bringing some of
Jeff
his
Payne.
artisan handmades of
Which,
his.
I own one. It's
And-
actually on the table. There.
Yep, right there. And then we've got a pipe tobacco surprise, which I think you could probably say on here. So, because by the time
Yeah.
So we have back up in my pipe smoking journey.
okay,
So when I first started working at the shop, Larry only ever smoked a pipe. I've actually never seen Larry smoke a cigar.
I haven't
before.
either.
And every night after work, we would sit down in the lounge. I'd smoke a cigar. Larry would smoke a pipe, but he always smoked the same thing, and that was 6 Virginias. Well, 6 Virginias was a blend that he developed using McClellan tobacco. And for anybody listening to this that is a pipe smoker, you know what McClellan tobacco is. If you don't, McClellan was like the creme de la creme, in my opinion. They made the best Virginias, Englishes. I mean, I absolutely loved their tobacco. It was really unique. It had this almost like vinegary barbecue sauce note to it from the tin note. I mean, it was just awesome. But the flavor of it was just, it was unbelievable. Anyways, well, McClellan in 2018, 16, somewhere between 2016 and 2018, I don't know, somewhere around there. The family that owned McClellan decided that they were going to close the business. Not because they were doing bad, but because they wanted to retire and they didn't want anybody else to have their blends or recipes. So instead of trying to sell it, they decided to close it. So what Larry did is Larry bought, 50 pounds of McClellan tobacco, and he made a metric heap ton of 6 Virginias. So we actually still have some of that, and we're going to be tinning it up, and we will be selling it at the pipe show.
Oh my!
50
oh my.
tins.
Yes, sir.
50 tins are all we're doing of it.
Yep.
So it's going to be really limited. 2-ounce mason jars have Pipe and Pint logo on it, which is going to be really cool, but those will be available at the pipe show while supplies last.
Yep.
While they last, guys.
While they last.
While they last.
All right, Waylon Stephens, thanks for the time, for the education. We really
we're
appreciate
done
it.
already?
Done already. Good.
Done already?
Goodness gracious! I think
How
we've
long
been
have we
going.
been going?
I don't.
Let's say
This is
the
supposed
Joe
to be-
Rogan
I was
podcast.
about to say,
Yeah,
this is supposed to be
yeah,
Joe
it's been going
Rogan
for a
where we
hot
talk
minute,
for
but-
3 hours.
Yeah. So you'll see him with us, Greensboro Stores, where the pipe show's at. We're starting right at 10 o'clock for the pipe show. Open to whenever.
Yeah.
Come out, see them.
Yeah, get there early if you want the best selection of pipes. Cause
Yeah,
they'll
get there
sell.
if you
Selection of
want your
pipes.
choice of something.
early.
Get there right there at the
Deals.
shoot.
I'll have my own separate deals, which if you want to find out what they are, you got to be there.
You got to be there to get your Waylon deals. If you come in and DDT them, you get another 10% off.
10% off. There you go.
That's
Good luck.
that's a if you know
This is
you
another
that's a if
podcast
you know
episode.
you know type of scenario there. But we'll see you then, bud, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any parting words from the great?
Parting words? Well, I guess you can.
Is there anything? What was his nickname? The guy's nickname? The what tiger?
The Dread Tiger.
The Dread
Dread
Tiger. Is
Tiger.
there any words of wisdom?
Oh, God.
that you could part ways with and put on the.
I don't know. He told me a lot, so it's hard to process everything. When you put me on the spot, I was like, shit. What is something that he said that's very?
Well, I tell you what, you think about it, and then
Okay.
anybody who's listening who comes to the pipe show, you can ask.
I'll
You can
tell you
ask. You can
there.
ask him about
But
the tiger. So,
but yeah.
again, appreciate it, buddy, and we'll
Appreciate
catch
it.
everybody next time. E,
Yeah.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly
see you, brother.
dilly.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Yeah, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. Come and join the convo. Jason and Ethan here to talk, yo. Chilling while we filling up the room with cigar smoke. Hey, between two burns, yeah, between two burns. This be the show that you like. We always keeping it hype. We got cigars and a mic, talking the pipe and the pint. Let's go.